It is the News Blitz with Randy Wang on Talk Radio 790 KABC. We're here every single day from 5 to 6 talking about the local issues that matter to you most and taking your phone calls at 800-222-KABC, 1-800-222-5222, your emails at randykabc@gmail.com, and search for the KABC News Blitz wherever you get your podcasts. It is Election Day. The polls close in California at 8 o'clock. The polls are closing in several of the East Coast states that people are watching. We will bring you some of those results this hour. But first, let's just go ahead and look at the latest numbers that we have. As of 4:56 p.m., 31% of California ballots have been returned. Now, those are the ones that we know have been counted. There may be a whole bunch sitting in ballot boxes and people in line right now. So maybe that number is going to go up. But if we go up to yesterday, we had just under 7 million votes returned in California. Now we're at about 7.1 million, which still means there's about 15 million votes out there. And maybe they're standing in line right now. I don't know. All I have in front of me is the information of the ballots that have been returned in this month-long mail-in voting election. But I am curious because, we've heard plenty of people say, well, it's the turnout on the day that's going to matter because this is a very partisan election, and typically it's Republicans that are more poised to turn out in person. So if you voted in person today, give me a call, 800-222-KABC, 1-800-222-5222. Was it busy? Did you have to wait in a line? How do you think the turnout is going to be for this thing? Because if you're looking just based on the numbers right now, and you can kind of just do the math based on how partisan this specific election is, with 35% turnout for the Democrats and 3.6 million ballots so far, compared to 33% turnout for the Republicans and 1.9 million ballots so far, there's quite a lot of ground to make up right there, including the 1.5 million no-party preferencers. Who knows who they're splitting for, but typically in California, the no-party preferencers split more for the Democrats than they do for the Republicans, so there is quite an uphill climb. But maybe that's all going to change today. If you voted in person today, whether it was to be yes on Prop 50 or no on Prop 50, you want to share it with your experience. Maybe you voted in person earlier this week. Tell us, was it busy? Do you see a turnout? Are you seeing enthusiasm out there? 800-222-KABC, 1-800-222-5222. Because as of the numbers right now, and again, this isn't counting today, but this is a 30-day election, 69% of voters have either not voted yet or not going to vote. And this is a very high attention election because there's one thing to pay attention to, and I think everyone's aware of it. But I guess 31% is good for California. 800-222-KABC, 1-800-222-5222. If you voted in person today, was there a line? Was it busy? If you want to make your case for or against Prop 50, you want to talk about the elections that are going on the other side of the country, this is your place. This is where you can share your voice. 800-222-KABC, 1-800-222-5222. And we're going to start with Stephen in Northridge. Stephen, hello.
Hey, how you doing?
Doing great.
Basically, I voted on Saturday. I hope I'm not disqualified. I voted
that's
at
great.
Castle
Good
Bay
for you.
Elementary School. And it wasn't very crowded. It was just really easy because I went to school there. My kids went to school there. And, I went there, walked in. It was very nice. They were very helpful. And I voted no on Proposition 50. And my only comment is, elections have, they have consequences. For example, if Larry Elder were governor, we would not have the rocket train. Girls would not be competing in women's sports. the kids would have went back to school, right? And we wouldn't have any special blend gasoline. And also, we probably wouldn't have the problem of only having one. What do you call it? The thing that takes care of the gas. Going to be down to one. What's it called?
Oh, the refineries. We're losing 2 of them.
Refinery. We might be down to one. And if Larry Elder were governor, none of this would have been happening. If they would just start pointing this stuff out, even a lot of Democrats, most Democrats, I mean, 100% of Republicans think it's not cool for men in sports. 100%. But maybe 60% think it's okay. So it's kind of ridiculous. But still, if you just point out some of these things, I'm sorry, I might sound a little bit nervous, but that's, I think, just gives some Republicans pointers, and I think that might help them out a little bit, because these are things that most people agree on.
There's a lot of things that a lot of us all agree on, and I hate how divided everyone thinks that we are. There's so many things, the most important things that we all agree on, and those are some really good points. Thanks so much for the call, Stephen. Appreciate it. I do have to say one thing, though. If Larry Elder had won that recall election, he would have still had a supermajority in both houses of the legislature, which means that they could have still passed whatever they wanted and overridden any veto that he had. But maybe it would have been a big tide changing for 2022 and 2024. Who knows? But showing up matters. And if you want your side to have more representation in the state, not just in the Congress, but you've got to show up and vote. And I know people listening to this audience do, but there's a lot of people out there in California that they kind of care. Maybe they don't care. I will say I voted by drop-off ballot. I voted yesterday, and I put mine in the ballot box around the corner yesterday morning. And usually when I do that, I'm the only one there. But there was another guy walking in at the exact same time. This morning, I was supposed to drop off my wife's ballot, but I forgot, so I did it about an hour ago. I came home real quick, grabbed the ballot, went over there. And there were actually a couple cars lining up, dropping off those ballots. And yes, we've all had 30 days to do this, but procrastinator's going to procrastinate, myself included. Getting to the bottom of that stack of mail, that was tough. 800-222-KABC is the phone number. If you voted today, tell us about it. How did you vote? You want to talk about what you voted for? Let's get back to the phones, and let's go to Don in La Palma. Don, hello. Dan in La Palma. Dan, hello.
Hey, how you doing? I just wanted to say, man, everybody needs to get out and vote no. I just left the Buena Park library, and they were pretty packed. Took me about an hour and a half to get through it, but I got to do my civic duty. Just get out there and vote, folks. Just do what you can. Saw a lot of angry liberals in there. We need to do what we can here in California.
Well, look at you. You had to wait in line for an hour? That's pretty packed.
Yeah, and the parking was terrible, too. Oh.
Well, that's dedication that you put up with the parking and you put up with the line to cast that ballot. We appreciate it. Dan, thank you so much for calling. Appreciate it. If you want to send out words of encouragement, you want to motivate people who haven't voted yet to take the next 2 hours and 45 minutes and fill out that one question ballot, you can call them right now. Give those words of encouragement. 800-222-KABC, 1-800-222-5222. If you are curious, Orange County, with 1.9 million registered voters, has seen a return rate higher than the state average, 39.1%. I think I can also break that down by party. I think I know how to do this. The return margin in Orange County, like the percentage of ballots that are more Republican ballots and more Democrat ballots, currently in Orange County, there's a 2.9% advantage in Democrat ballots. Maybe you can call your friends, call your family if you want to do something about that. 800-222-KABC, 1-800-222-5222. Let's go to Dave in Mission Viejo. Dave, hello.
Hello, how are you doing?
Doing great.
I I voted today, but I did it by mail. I looked at the mail-in ballot, and it said I can do that by today, so I did. And I got to tell you, I feel bad about it because I just think everything that goes through the mail is going to end up getting wrecked by the the vote counters, who I never trust.
Well, make sure you sign up for BallotTrax. Make sure that ballot does get counted so we can have faith that this thing is going forth. But thank you for voting today. Appreciate it. Participating in the process. No matter how you're voting, that's the most important thing. And one of the things that we've seen specifically in local elections is very low voter turnout can create some very interesting candidates. Let's go to Lisa in Alhambra. Lisa, hello.
Hello. So I'm proud of myself because I almost didn't go. It got dreary out. I said it's going to get dark, and I made about 10 excuses. And then I went, and I'm so glad I went. There was a line that took about 40 minutes, probably 30 to 40, online at lavote.gov. You can look up your voting place, and it said 15 minutes or less. However, it wasn't. But the experience was excellent. Everybody was proud to be there is pretty much the way I could say it. Majority of the people in line were voting no, and a lot of first-time voters. I had a father behind me bringing his daughter for the first time. I had someone in front of me with their dad for the first time. I guess maybe he became a citizen. I have no idea on that one. And several other people with their kids signing them up the first time. So it was very exciting that people showed up on voting day to cast their vote.
Wow, I love hearing that. That is inspiring. Families all going together. The first election is something that's so complicated. There's no way an 18-year-old understands it, but good for them.
Well, I think they do because it's only one option, screw up our state more or vote no.
I wish you were in charge of the No on 50 campaign, because that would have been a much better effective message than the ones that were being put out there. Thanks so much for the call. Appreciate it. That's a whole other story for another day as to where that $70 million went for the No on 50 campaign. But if you voted today, whether it was in person, in mail, and you want to call and talk about it, tell us if it was busy at your polling place. Give us a call, 800-222-KABC, 1-800-222-5222. The polls in California are open for another 2 hours and 41 minutes. Let's go to Mark in Huntington Beach. Mark, hello.
Hey, how you doing, man?
Doing great.
You hear me? Good. Hey, yeah, I showed up and I had about 8 friends I brought with me, and we're all big patriots here in Huntington Beach. It's a big patriot city. So we go turning in, and I showed my ID, and they said, "Oh, you don't need that." And I said, "Well, what if?" I just had a question. I said, "What if somebody came in and they had my name, and they don't need my Social Security or nothing, just my name, where I live, and some other goofy thing?" And I said, "What if someone did that?" And they go, "Well, if they did that, they'd be held liable and they'd be breaking the law." And I said, "Well, what if they did it? I mean, what would I have? What recourse would I have to say, hey, I didn't vote. Someone voted for me?" They said, "Well, they didn't really, it was a big gray area they were telling me about." And I said, "Well, what if that happened?" I go, "That could possibly happen, couldn't it?" I'm going, someone just say they're, and have a name and an address and a zip code. That's what it was, a zip code, my address. That's all they needed with the name. I thought that was very strange. I don't know. What do you think?
Especially because Huntington Beach has a local law on it, but the state keeps suing to invalidate that. But it seems that, for whatever the minor inconvenience of making sure everybody has an ID, if that's the concern that some people don't have ID, well, let's fix that. Everyone should have an ID, but it would install so much more confidence in our elections if you had that system. Let me just say, when I used to vote in person and I tell them what my name is, and let's just say I don't look anything like what people would assume my name says I would look like, nobody blinks an eye. Nobody asks any questions, but maybe that's fine. Maybe we're an evolved person and they can understand that even though I have a Chinese last name, my dad was adopted.
Wow. Yeah, that's a trip. Wow.
Thanks so much for the call, Mark. Appreciate it. 800-222-KABC is the phone number, 1-800-222-5222. If you go by turnout, this is interesting. Orange County, where Huntington Beach is, currently there is a small Republican edge based on turnout. 43% of Democrat ballots have returned. 43.2% of Republican ballots have returned. So there's a little bit of an edge there. Well, look at that. And the districts where they're going to be most affected, you assume maybe those are the ones that are voting a lot in person. In Huntington Beach, if Prop 50 passes, the district lines will be drawn that Huntington Beach and Long Beach will be in the same district, which means it's very possible that Huntington Beach's congressman after 2026 will be Robert Garcia. Oh my. 800-222-KABC is the phone number, 1-800-222-5222. Let's go to Ken in Covina. Ken, hello.
Hey, Randy, good to talk to you again. You know, I just drove by a polling place right now, and the line was just around the building. So it's great to see. I did my first mail-in ballot at the time. I couldn't believe how simple it was. You just, little click, you didn't even need a stamp. You just put your yes or no there, stick it in the mail, and it's gone. And as great as that is, it worries me a little bit because it's the quality of people voting. I mean, we want everybody to vote, but we want informed voters. I mean, I like to look at the issues and study up and make an informed decision, but then some high school kid that watched a TikTok video for 10 seconds can cancel out my vote. So in some ways, I'm okay with not having a great big turnout if everybody's more informed.
Well, and that is the thing. Most young people do not turn out. Most young people do not pay attention. So the people that do pay attention do have an outsized influence. But one thing that I like about it being by mail, and it's different with this election because it's just one question, but when you have a 6-page ballot and you've got to do all this research and all these different candidates and issues, I find it easier to do that sitting at a table than standing in that little corner.
Yeah, but you miss the human element, you know, all of us being together, doing our civic duty. I remember reading about when the Founding Fathers first had elections, you had to be a landowner to actually vote because they figured that you had to have something at stake in order to vote. And nowadays, I think a lot of people don't vote because they really don't see that there's anything at stake for themselves personally.
Boy, I'll tell you right now, the policies of not only this city, but this state and this country would be very different if we still had the standards where only the landowners could vote. Very interesting. Ken, thanks so much for the call. Appreciate it. 800-222-KABC is the phone number, by the way, as of at least this morning, of the young people. 18 to 29-year-olds, they make up 20% of the electorate. They've had about a 15% turnout. 800-222-KABC, 1-800-222-5222. Did you vote today? If you went in person, was there a line? How busy it is out there? You want to make your final pitches for or against Prop 50? This is the place to do it. 800-222-KABC, 1-800-222-5222. If you're on hold, stay on hold. We'll get to your calls next. It's election day. We'll get your calls and we'll get some of the results in some of the East Coast states that the polls have closed, like Virginia and New Jersey. It's the News Blitz with Randy Wang on KABC. It's the News Blitz with Randy Wang on KABC. It's election day. We're taking your phone calls at 800-222-KABC, 1-800-222-5222. If you voted today, tell us about your experience. If you voted by mail, voted in person, you want to make a pitch for Prop 50, give us a call, 800-222-KABC, 1-800-222-5222. I know there's a lot of people that are curious about the elections that are going on in other states. Well, the polls closed at 4 o'clock our time in Virginia. And right now, Decision Desk has called it for governor candidate Congresswoman Abigail Spanberger has beaten Winsome Earl Sears with 54% of the vote right in. It is a margin of 55-44. The Attorney General's race, which I know a lot of people were watching because of those text messages that Jay Jones had sent out that said all kinds of horrible things. Apparently, that was not enough to defeat this campaign. Jay Jones is on track to win that race 51-48, and that one has been projected by Decision Desk. The lieutenant governor's race, if you really care about that, The Democrat candidate is winning that one as well. It looks like it is a sweep in Virginia for the Democrats. In New Jersey, with 26% of the ballots in, those polls closed at 5 o'clock our time. Currently, it looks like Decision Desk HQ has called it, and Mikey Sherrill will be the next governor of New Jersey, 61.7% of the vote in there. Those are the races across the country. We'll talk more Prop 50 when we get back. The polls are open for 2.5 more hours. Give us a call, 800-222-KABC, 1-800-222-5222. In case you're curious, the New York mayor's race, those polls close at 9 o'clock Eastern, 6 o'clock our time, so I'm not going to get to cover that one. We'll talk about it tomorrow on Johnny's show. 800-222-KABC, 1-800-222-5222. It's the News Blitz with Randy Wang on KABC. It is the News Blitz with Randy Wang on Talk Radio 790 KABC. We're here every single day from 5 to 6 talking about the local issues that matter to you most and taking your phone calls at 800-222-KABC. 1-800-222-5222. Your emails at randykabc@gmail.com and search for the KABC News Blitz wherever you get your podcasts. It's election day. The polls are open for another 2 hours and 23 minutes in California. If you have not voted yet on Prop 50, whether you're for it or you're against it, you can weigh in. You can make your voice heard. You can go to a polling place. You can find them by going to LA Vote. You can also go to a ballot drop-off box. There's probably one in the park around the corner from your house. You can even put it in a mailbox if it is postage by 8 p.m. So make your voice heard. Be part of the 31% turnout, not the 69% we're not turning out. We'll see. Sounds like through what we've heard from quite a few calls that the polling places are busier than some have thought. If you voted today, give us a call, 800-222-KABC, 1-800-222-5222. Tell us about your experience. If you voted in person, was it busy? If you voted by mail, give us a call, 800-222-KABC, 1-800-222-5222. Let's go to Peter in Westchester. Peter, hello.
Hello, how are you?
Doing great.
Good. Well, I went early this morning, and I voted. It was really not that busy. I hope more people turn out than at least what was there when I was voted.
How early did you go?
10 o'clock.
Oh, wow. And it wasn't even busy then. I was figuring, you must have gone at 8. But if you went at 10 and there's nothing there, maybe there's a bunch of procrastinators that are going right now. I know that in LA County, I have seen for so many elections, people that I know sending me pictures at 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock, and they're in a very long line because they waited to the last minute. So maybe that'll happen this time.
Maybe. Maybe people went, to work, and then when they got off, they're going in to vote.
That's a really good point. There's a lot of people who probably just got off of work at 5. They're stuck in traffic, but they're going to make it happen. Thanks so much for the call, Peter. Appreciate it. Let's look at the breakdown, by the way, of Los Angeles County. Los Angeles County with 5.8 million registered voters. Let's go to the regular top lines. This is, of course, out of the Optic Data website. If you want to look at this data that I look at, go to abev.opitqdata.com, and then you can look up your county. LA County has 5.8 million voters, and so far, 25.8% of them have returned their ballots, so lower than the state average. LA County's registration, you've got... in Los Angeles County, 2.9 million Democrats, 1.7 million no-party preferencers, but you know what? 1.1 million Republicans. And if you look at the current turnout, which is who's turning in their ballots in that county, in Los Angeles County, there is a Democrat advantage, but it's not as much as you would think. It's only 3%. Interesting. 800-222-KABC is the phone number. Let's go to Inga in LA. Inga, hello.
Hi. I voted yesterday, and there were just few people I was only one at that moment. But today my friends voted in Culver City. The lady, her son, and husband. And it was full of people. But next to them, this one guy, he wanted to vote, but they said, "Oh, you already voted." He said, "No, I didn't vote." No, you already voted. So I just wanted you to know that. It
And
happened in
did he fill
Culver
out a
City this
provisional
morning.
ballot? Did he try to complain, or did he just give up?
I think he gave up.
That is really unfortunate, and that is something that we got to, we don't want to disenfranchise someone. If someone says they haven't voted, and it's not like they're lying about that, because that's a crime to vote twice.
No, because he was in the line next to my friend,
Yeah, these are the kind of things that do happen, and there's definitely ways that we can make that a little more orderly, but at least in California, we're not doing that anytime soon. Thanks so much for the call, Inga. Appreciate it. Let's go to Ed in East LA. Ed, hello.
Hey, good. Thanks for taking my call.
Yeah.
Yeah, I voted today. I voted over in East LA, over in Boyle Heights. It was very easy. I went when the polls opened up. I was at a senior center. I'm a senior, so it was very convenient, easy parking. The thing I like best about the voting process was that little scan that they sent out on the information in the mail, that you could scan it and find out exactly where you can go, the closest polling place you can go. Because I like voting in person. I don't like this mail stuff. I'd rather vote in person, get it done, and then that way I know my vote is being counted.
Well, that's nice that they gave you a little thing you could scan that tells you exactly where the polling places go, because we know they've changed over a few years. Sounds like a great experience, Ed. Thanks so much for the call. Appreciate it. Let's go to Tanya in Calabasas. Tanya, hello.
Hi, Randy. How are you?
Doing great.
I voted today. I went around 11 o'clock. And what I was very upset about is they scan your card, look at the screen. Is that you? Yes, here's your paper. Without them asking for ID, it is just, it's just not a good thing. And then when you go to the machines, they're fully exposed. Not that I, am fearful of what I'm voting for, because of course I'm voting for no, and I'm very proud of that. But the part without asking for ID is just, that has got to stop.
Well, and you know what's interesting? One of the things they say why we don't need that is because they verify your signature. And I'm not sure how that works, because the signature on my voter registration card from when I was 18 is wildly different from the signature I have today, because, and this is true, my handwriting has gotten considerably more terrible in the last 20 years.
Well, that usually does happen. But, yeah, we need to get we need no on 50. We need voter ID, and that's what needs to happen.
Well, there you go. Thanks so much for the call, Tanya. Appreciate it. 800-222-KABC is the phone number. Let's go to Douglas in Sherman Oaks. Douglas, hello.
Hey, Randy. How you doing?
Doing great.
Good. Hey, I was just going to say the exact same thing as your last caller. I went to the poll. I usually vote by mail. It was my wife's first time voting as an American coming from another country, and she was super excited. So she wanted to go to the poll. So it's been a long time since I've actually gone to the poll. And the exact same thing crossed my mind that both of you guys were talking about. I mean, they used to check my ID when I went to my polling place. Not anymore.
Yeah, that is a thing that right now the law is that we don't do that here, and they say we got to do that because we don't want to disenfranchise the people that can't afford to get ID. But then shouldn't we be doing something about that?
Yes, we should. But also, I mean, look, it's a big responsibility. If you can't get an ID, it's not that hard to get an ID, from what I remember. I just think
we're not even talking
really
about a driver's license. We're talking about a simple California identification. And if we need to lower barriers so everyone can have access to that, we need to do that.
Plus, like you said, the signature, the way they verify the signature is with an iPad with a pen with a rubber eraser on it. It's not accurate in the first place. So it's definitely I think it's definitely a problem. And especially because once you do go in person, they automatically cancel out. Of course they would. They cancel out your mail-in ballot, which everybody gets. So I mean, it's just way too loose. You know, it's not proper. And I wanted your opinion on this. Do you think that the reason why the Republicans did not advertise as much is because they're just like, California's a wash. Let's just not even bother spending the money?
Oh, I think there's definitely defeatism that set in halfway through the campaign, but also, then what did you raise the $70 million for? It sure seems that something crooked happened there, and it's not the first time. How many recalls of George Gascon did we see not go anywhere because all that money went to political consultants? There's a rectifying that the California Republicans are going to have to deal with the consultant class that is just looking to grift off of voters. If you donated to No on 50 and you never saw where that money went, that's got to be pretty upsetting.
Right. Well, anyways, I appreciate you taking my call, and I'm really happy about the Dodgers at least.
Yeah, you've got that to celebrate with all the rest of the year. Thanks so much for the call, Douglas. Appreciate it. Yeah, I think it's a combination of its defeatism but I don't know where the money was spent. I have seen very, very, very few No on 50 ads. I have seen very, very few No on 50 things go in my mailbox. And the text messages that harass me on a daily basis are all for Yes on 50. Let's go to Vanessa in Bellflower. Vanessa, hello.
Hey, Randy. Thanks for taking my call. So I'm kind of driving around looking for a polling place. Very undecided if I'm going to vote. In my local polling place, which is Lakewood, where the poll's at, it's extremely long. So I'm not satisfied with either party at the time, and yeah, I don't know.
Well, here, I can help you. I'm looking. This is actually great. LA County's website will show you not only where the polling places are, but which ones have lines and which ones don't have a line. And to your point, the ones that are in Lakewood, it looks like there's quite a long line in there. But if you go up to Cerritos College on Alondra Boulevard, there is less than a 15-minute wait.
Okay. Well, if I get in, I will vote no. But, yeah, just wanted to get your persuasion, if you will.
Well, I voted no because I think that two wrongs don't make a right. I think that it is really, really, really bizarre to say what happened in Texas is awful, so let's do the exact same thing. And I just, regardless of the, politics of next year, I just find that to be a really tough argument. So yeah, in your area, the one in Artesia looks like a mess. The two in Lakewood don't look great. But there is one at Bellflower at the Las Flores Home Education Independent Study Academy. That's on Palm Street. But the one at Cerritos College, that one looks great. And that one looks like it does not have a line at all. So give it a try. Thanks so much for the call. Appreciate it. And by the way, you can do that if you don't know where to vote. If you want me to tell you where the voting center is that does not have a line, because some of them are busy and some of them are not, I can do that for you. Give us a call, 800-222-KABC, 1-800-222-5222. For example, if you're in Burbank, the Magnolia Park Methodist Church is packed, and the wait time's over an hour. If you go a little north on Buena Vista to Empire at Robert Gross Park, no line. It's an interesting thing. I love this map. 800-222-KABC is the phone number. It's the News Blitz with Randy Wang on KABC. It's the News Blitz with Randy Wang on KABC. It's Election Day. Just an update. In Virginia, Abigail Spanberger won the governor's race. Jay Jones won the attorney general's race. And in New Jersey, Mickey Sherrill won the governor's race. The New York ballots close at 6 o'clock Pacific, and I'll be off the air. Hey, look at this. 790 KABC welcomes OAR at the Greek Theater on August 8th, 2026. Tickets on sale Friday at Ticketmaster.com. But right now, caller number 9 at 1-888-795-2222 gets a pair of tickets to the show. Tickets furnished by Live Nation. Good luck dialing. More of your calls up next. It's the News Blitz with Randy Wang on KABC. It's the News Blitz with Randy Wang on KABC. Let's go to Renee in Long Beach. Renee, hello.
Hello, thank you for taking my call. I was just calling I went to the voting center here in Long Beach in a Goodwill, but it was packed, so I'm on my way to the one you said earlier in Cerritos. But just as I was driving by, I rolled my window down and I told the people that were in line to vote, I told them, hey, vote no, and damn near everybody flipped me off, man. I think they're just mad at Trump or something.
Yeah, there's one in North Long Beach at United with Hope on Linden Avenue. That one doesn't seem to have a wait, but yeah, you can go to that Cerritos College location. That looks pretty good. The ones that are in Long Beach proper look very busy. Avalon Village at Foysa Park, that one looks empty. There's definitely a few options out there. Look at you. You got this. I believe in you. Thanks so much for the call, Renee. Appreciate it. Let's go to Buddy in Yorba Linda. Buddy, hello.
Hey, good evening. How's everybody doing?
Doing great.
Hey, so just got back from the polling place in Yorba Linda at the new library, and it's the only polling place. They kind of mentioned the community center, Tommy Lasorda Fieldhouse. Well, neither one of them were doing it. So the main library, 1,000 people. So the line's about 100 yards. I had to park in Stater Brothers. I always like to vote in person, but I was going to wait, and I did have my ballot in hand along with the rest of my families and turned them in. So
well, look at that. Love to hear that there's a big, long line out there in Yorba Linda. Thanks so much for the call, buddy. Appreciate it. All right, last word on this one. Jay in Culver City. Jay, hello.
Hey, Randy, thanks for taking the call. Real quick, buddy, you might want to check your signature with the Secretary of State. So if your signature's changed over the years, like all of ours have, they might not be counting your votes over these last couple of years. So you can update it. Just, I guess, Google it and figure it out.
I'm going to do that. I'm going to Google it and figure it out because I didn't think that was a thing I could do. Appreciate the advice. There you go, everyone. The polls close in 2 hours, so you still got time to turn in your ballot. If you're in LA County, go to lavote.gov and you can find your polling place. It's the News Blitz with Randy Wang on KABC.